Hello there, everyone, my crafty friends. Welcome to my craft room. My name is Daryl Walter of Pickled Peppers Creative Cafe at pickledpepperscreative.com. This is my craft room. Welcome, welcome. So here we are, Saturday, June 8th. We're here on a Saturday. This is our new day and time. We used to come on Thursday at about 7:15 p.m. to create with you. And out of necessity, a couple of times we moved to Saturday. It was very popular, so here we are. We've decided to pack our boxes and move my craft room over to Saturday morning. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. Hi, Beth. Good morning. Good morning. If you are new here, welcome. I'm so glad to meet you. And if you are an established friend who has been hanging out in my craft room with me for a while, welcome. Super excited to have you on a new day and time. So welcome. I hope you grabbed your cup of joe. You see this cup, how big it is? I am a huge coffee drinker. So I fill my cup up in the morning. So we're going to have coffee, crafting, and cards this morning. How about that? Good morning. So I'm chatting just a little bit until people start to find me in their newsfeed. My friend Beth is here. I hope you're having a good start to your weekend, Beth. Super excited that you're here. Let me know when you come in. Say hi, of course. I love to chat with you. So chat with me in the comments below. Let me know if you're watching live or if you are watching the replay, where you're from. And most of all, if you have been crafty this week and have plans to be crafty this weekend. And then you can chat with me about anything. If I don't see your comment right away, which sometimes I'm busy creating and I miss it, I will answer any questions that you have, or I'll say, hey, welcome to the craft room in the comments below after the live part of our crafting. So, all right. So I think that's enough chatter. Let's see. Let's go ahead and turn down. I have an announcement for you this morning, and then we'll talk about what we're going to be using this morning in terms of product, and then we'll get down to the good part, which is creating. So let's go ahead and turn down the camera. Sometimes it can be kind of noisy. I apologize for that. When I've had my coffee in the morning, I'm pretty strong with the stand. Oh my goodness, there we go. That was kind of messy. Sorry, here we go. All right, we're at our desktop. Let's see, it looks like I might have to fidget a bit. Let's get us straightened up and let's find our happy spot. All right. Boy, that was quite the journey. Did you like that ride? It was a bumpy ride, but here we are. I think we're in a good place. Give me a thumbs up if it looks good to you and you're able to see everything on my desktop. I'm using the catalog to kind of get us centered. All right, so announcements. I have one announcement this morning, and that is, it's a big one. Stampin' Up! Is having a stamp bundle sale. So it applies to stamp bundles that are the stamp set and the dies. So we have bundles that are stamp sets and punches, but the sale is for stamp sets along with the dies. Our bundles are always 10% off. And this month through the end of June, you can get an extra 10% off, which makes the bundles 20% off that are stamp and die bundles. So that is going on. And additionally, the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machines, both the mini and the regular size, so it's a die cutter. They are 10% off as well. So I'm noticing there's a little QR code on the flyer. My fan doesn't want you to see it. But yeah, so that is happening. It's a good deal, especially on the stamp die bundles, I think. 10% off. The sale goes through the end of this month, so until June 30th, you can do that. All right, so let's get started cutting and creating, shall we? Let's talk about what we're going to be using this morning in terms of product. And I don't know if I said to you in the beginning, I'm just so excited getting settled into our new day and time that I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. And so everything I use here, 99.9% of it will be Stampin' Up! Just so that you know. All right, so we are going to be using the Mediterranean Blooms. I am over the heels and just enamored with this bundle. The designer series paper we'll take a look at in a minute. It is so vivid with color and beautiful. I am in love. So this is a stamp and die bundle. I do have to warn you that I looked this morning and it is out of stock, but it is going to be back in stock. It's estimated in a couple of weeks, near the 1st of July. So let me tell you that. And then I'll have to show you the dies. I did my die cutting off of camera. But I think when I was cleaning, I threw the dies aside. So let's take a look at the stamp set up close. And then we'll just talk about everything that's in this bundle and what we're using this morning. Okay, and the card I have for you is super, super simple. It uses, it's a good display of the designer series paper, so you'll be able to see a lot of it. It's a fun fold, quick and easy, but it packs a punch, so I think you're really gonna like it. All right, good morning, Anna. Welcome. Good morning, good morning. Welcome to Saturday morning in my craft room. So here is the stamp that goes along with that Mediterranean Blooms bundle. So the bundle encompasses everything that coordinates with this particular bundle. The stamp set is called Citrus Blooms. There are coordinating dies. I haven't moved from my desk, so I can't imagine why I can't locate them, except for to say it's me and things like that happen to me. But here are, let's take a peep at the dies. Oh, are they going to show them separately? Maybe no. Oh, I've covered them up. Here we go. Here we go. Let's flip the page back. So you can see that there are dies here on the bottom that will die cut the bundle of oranges and the single orange branch. There are flowers that coordinate with the flowers. And then we're not using them today. There's this background frame or die. There's a frame, and then also you see that little spray of greenery. So really fun, coordinates with the stamp set here. And then there's designer series paper that also coordinates with it, and we're going to take a close-up look at that, and then we'll get started creating. And then I'm going to let you guys help me this morning decide which background paper we're going to use. It is so lovely. Here is what it looks like. We'll just kind of spread it out for a second here. I love this pattern. I love the big images, the larger. There's lemons. So this is citrus. I don't know, it's just very lovely. I don't think the camera is doing it any justice. This is very beautiful. And then we have oranges, and the last is the pattern on top. And then, interestingly enough, when you turn it on the reverse side, and I do have to tell you that I was a little bit surprised about all of the blues on the reverse side. It looks like there's some balmy blue, misty moonlight, certainly night of navy. So a combination of blues on the reverse side of the designer series paper. Wait until you see our project though. You will see how beautifully this works together. I was really surprised about it, and then I'm going to show you how I cut everything for the card today, how we cut and scored it. So we're going to be starting from scratch. Now, keeping in mind that I said I love the larger images, I'm going to skip over these two. Oh, I don't know, maybe not. Oh, I don't know. This is so hard. So we have this pattern that we can use. We can use any of them. They all coordinate pretty good. You can see that I've cut into them already, but I know myself, and so I'm already plotting to purchase another pack of this paper. And we have this pattern. Yeah, how about we not give too many choices? When I have too many choices, I just don't know what to do. Let's go with the ones with the oranges. I like those the best. Okay, so shall we do oranges and lemons together, or just the oranges? You guys let me know. Give me a thumbs up. How about that? Thumbs up for the oranges alone, and maybe a heart for the oranges with the lemons. What do you think? Let's see, I played around. I've already cut into all of the oranges alone. I'll decide. Let's do this one. All right, so in addition to the stamp set and the dies, we're also going to be incorporating the opal rounds assortment. So there are, oh, Beth, the Mediterranean, or the citrus bloom. So we're going to be using this. And it has the oranges, some of the blossoms. There's some cute sentiments here. It says, hello, all the love. You're the best kind of person. I love that one. You're the best kind of person. And then below, can you see it says just checking in? Let me bring them a little closer. Good morning, Ellen. Welcome, welcome to my craft room. Thanks for hanging out. Nympha, you like the other DSP? Okay, which one? With just the oranges? Thank you for voting. I was kind of on the fence about. Okay, so let us use the one with just the oranges. All right, thank you for that. Okay, I'm going to grab my Stampin' trimmer because we're going to use that. And remember, I said the reverse side of the designer series paper has all the blues, so we're going to grab the blue embellishment here. Yes, thank you, Nympha. Hi, Polly. Welcome. Welcome to my craft room. Good to see you. Thanks for hanging out today. All right, let's get started, shall we? So we'll start with the designer series paper because that is what is closest to me. And I'm going to do a little bit of cutting, but first we're going to cut this down to 6 by 6. The nice thing about the Stampin' trimmer, if you have it from Stampin' Up, thank you for the thumbs up. If you have the trimmer from Stampin' Up, there is an extension arm that you can swing out and cut all the way up to 17 inches. But if this arm is in place, it's already at the 6 inches. There's nothing more you need to do. Good morning, Marie. Welcome. Welcome to our Saturday morning coffee creating and cards. I don't know what to call it. We'll have to come up with a fun name. Okay, so it's already at 6. We can just scooch it right to the edge here, and we're gonna cut this down to 6 by 6. So of course, we can get 4 cards out of one piece of 12 by 12 designer series paper. So I'm going to flip it around and we'll slide it to the edge here again and cut it at 6 again. While we're cutting, so we'll put this aside, we'll use it for another card. While we're cutting, we'll go ahead and get this ready for the card. So if you have or are using designer series paper that is 6 by 6 to create this card, you're a little bit ahead of the game. But we're going to cut this down to 6 by 5. If your patterned paper is directional, you're going to want the top of the paper at the top of the trimmer. It's going to matter. But can you see how we're willy-nilly here? So I don't really think it matters, but this feels like the top to me. And I'm sorry, you're going to want the top to the left. We're going to cut the bottom off. We're going to cut 1 inch of the bottom off. So assuming that this is directional, I told you wrong. Your direction is at the top. We're going to make it 1/4 of a turn counterclockwise, if that makes sense. And then we'll go ahead and cut 1 inch off of the bottom. So we'll do that. And we'll have this extra strip we can use if you want on the inside of your card, but this will be all that is left. Marie, isn't this designer series paper the best? I don't know, it doesn't even show up good on camera. It's absolutely beautiful, you guys. So very beautiful. Okay, so then the next thing we're going to do is score at 2 1/4. So we're going to put the top facing portion of our designer series paper back towards the top, and we'll slide it all the way over, and we're going to score it at 2 1/4 of an inch. You guys with me? If you have the Stampin trimmer from Stampin' Up, it has a scoring blade and a cutting blade on the same track. So just be careful, because I have actually cut when I meant to score. All right, so we'll set this aside for a minute. We have just a little bit more cutting to do. Your card base is going to be 5 1/2 by 4 1/4. I have chosen, because these colors mesh so well with the designer series paper, I went right off of what Stampin' Up said looks best, and I've picked out Lemon Lolly and Pumpkin Pie. So we're going to cut our base out of these 2 colors, and one will be a matte and the other will be the card base. So normally a card base is half a sheet of cardstock. This time we're using 1/4 of the sheet. So we're going to, halfway here is 5 1/2. So I'm just going to cut it in half because it's easier that way. And we'll put this aside for another project, and then we'll cut it at 4 1/4. So our card base is 5 1/2 by 4 1/4. And you know, let's actually, I'm going to cut this down to 5 1/4 by 4. This will be our mat. Let's use Lemon Lolly for the base. Yeah, we can use Lemon Lolly for the base. So I have it at 4, and we're going to cut it down 1/4 of an inch to 5 1/4. So this will be our mat. Let's bring the Lemon Lolly in. We're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to cut it in half at 5 1/2. We'll put this aside for another project, and then we'll cut it down to 4 1/4. So the 2 pieces will layer together to create your card base. We'll put this aside for another project. All right, so did we get that? We have 2 pieces, and then we have a little bit of white to cut, but this is going to be our card base, the Lemon Lolly, and then we're going to layer it with the pumpkin pie. Okay, we're going to set that aside for a moment. We need 2 pieces of basic white cardstock. The basic white comes in 2 thicknesses, thick basic white and regular. This is regular. I only use the thick basic white for card bases, but if I'm doing anything else, most generally I'm using just the regular. So we're going to cut this down to 3 by 4 1/4. So a trick to saving paper is we know that if we cut along the long side, half of that 8 1/2 is 4 1/4. So I'm going to go right to the 4 1/4 inch. We need that anyways, so we can put this aside for stamping. And then we'll just turn this around and cut 2 pieces at 3 inches. And then we'll need 1 more. And then I'm going to bring the pumpkin pie back in because we do need an additional piece that is 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. So let's see. We have 5 1/2 by 4 1/2. So let's cut this at, it's already at 4 1/2. So let's turn it around and cut it at 3 1/4. This should be a mat for that basic white piece, for one of them anyways. All right, let's just double check our work before we take the trimmer away. Yes, there we go. Okay. So we have all of the pieces, I believe, that we need for the card. Let's get down to a little bit of stamping. Now, let me show you, this is a cling stamp set, which means that the stamps themselves are red rubber, but you can adhere them to a clear acrylic block. So let's go ahead. We're going to bring in a big block, and we want this large cluster of oranges or citrus. And then we're going to bring in that extra piece, the other half of the basic white that we had. I'm using black memento. So there is some coloring. If you noticed, we're going to do some coloring to our stamped image. You notice that I am inking the stamp upside down. This way I can see to make good coverage, because the stamp itself is wider than the pad of the ink. So this way I know that I've got good coverage. I can see it if I do it upside down. All right, and then we're just gonna stamp it right down onto our paper. There we go. And of course, we're gonna run it through our die cutter, and here we go. So I cheated, I done it off camera, but that's okay. We'll do that one later. So we have our image here. We're gonna color it in, and I've grabbed some Stampin' Blends markers. If you're not familiar with them, they are alcohol ink markers. They come in a set of 2, so you get a light shade of the color and a dark in one pack. They come as a 2-pack. And I've picked the colors because Stampin' Up! Told me on the back of the designer series paper what colors coordinate with the designer series paper that we're using. So I have Daffodil Delight, Old Olive, and Pumpkin Pie, a light and a dark of each. And then I just grabbed a brown. This is bronze. We have some stems here that we want to color. Okay, so I gave the oranges a little bit of a gradient, and I'll just show you how I did that. I'm going to start with the dark pumpkin pie. your Stampin' Blend markers have, oh, let's turn this around. So there are two sides to it, two tips, I should say. There's a brush tip, which is my favorite because it colors quickly, covers a lot of real estate, I like to say. And then there is a blunt rounded marker tip. I use both of them, but I'm gonna start with the darker, and I'm gonna go around the outside of the orange. And also, while I'm doing that, I'm not going to go right up to the stamped line initially, because alcohol ink moves, and if you get too close to the line, the paper might pull the ink over the line, and we want to draw inside of the lines, right? Okay, so let's turn this around. So I'm going to go around the outside of each of the oranges, kind of twisting this around so I can see the edge of the orange, because I don't want to go over it. And because I'm not very confident in the smaller areas, I'm going to use the reverse side of the pen, and I am outlining the leaves. Can you see that? And then just around. So that's how we'll start. In the next, we'll grab the lighter, and this is how you get a gradient. So we have the dark color on the outside. We're just gonna take that brush. Remember, I told you can cover a lot of real estate very quickly. And this is what it looks like. So we have a little bit more coloring to do, but let me show you up close. Can you see that? So that looks kind of weird with that dark around the outside and the light in the middle. To get it to blend, because these are alcohol based, they'll blend really good. You'll achieve that blended look by scrubbing over, what would you call it? Over the joining line with the lighter color. Just kind of scrub over it, and I'll show you how it took that starkness away. And then when it dries, you'll be amazed. Super, super simple. Super, super simple coloring. Needs to dry a little bit, but I'll show you again. Oh, you'll be able to see again when we assemble everything. And then the flowers, I didn't take time to do the detail, but if you're going to do that, you can just follow the lines that the stamp has made for you already. So there's nothing for you really to have to guess at. You'll just kind of put lines where the stamp put the lines with the darker color. And then in the same fashion, we'll come back in with the lighter color. And this time, because the area is smaller, of course, I'm going to use that rounded tip because that brush tip is kind of big. So I'm using the lighter color, and that will give our flowers kind of a two-tone look. And then the stamen, I'm going to color with the darker. So this is Daffodil Delight. And then the leaf, let's do one of those. So I have actually colored this off camera because there's a lot of coloring here. And I don't think you guys want to watch me color all day. Of course, you may be able to. Good morning, Patty. Oh my gosh, did you hear that? Happy Coffee and Card Saturday. I almost said happy Crafty Thursday. That was our slogan or phrase for Thursday, but we have a new day and time. So I've done the same thing with the leaves, and because there's a little more space there, I can just drag, and I'm kind of scrubbing across so I get that blend. I'm not going all the way to the edge because, you know, I don't want to color outside of the line. And then I'll take the rounded tip and then just get in the crevices. And that is with the lighter color. So that's kind of how I colored it in. It's really fun. really fun to color, but here we are, all done. The beauty of the camera allows us to do that. But I just wanted to show you a little bit of how we colored it in. So I've die cut it out. Let's go ahead for some assembly now. Let's see, we're going to need our Stampin' Seal Plus. All right, so let's do some layering. Let's start with this. We'll start with this because this is what we're working on. And let's layer these two pieces together. And actually, we're gonna do a little bit of stamping. We're gonna stamp a sentiment. So if you want, you can stamp your sentiment before you attach these two pieces together. And me, I'm doing it afterwards. Let's grab a block and decide on the sentiment that we're going to use. I like that just checking in. Let's see. We're gonna pop this on with some dimensionals. So let's kind of see where our image, or maybe let's use the hello. Yeah, let's use the hello down here in the corner. All right, so I'm gonna grab that stamp out. There's that hello, so we're gonna grab that out. I love hello cards, so we'll mount it right on to our block. Can you see that we're able to see, there's a sticker on there, so we're able to see the stamp as well. Before I stamp, I just want to make sure that the placement is good. And what I mean by that is I want that hello to go right along the very bottom edge of, oh, good. Okay, it looks good. So I want that hello here in the bottom corner, right along the edge of the basic white. And so we're just gonna stamp that right down. Oh, perfect. Perfect. That's a perfect little hello. All right. And then we'll go ahead and assemble our card base. So remember, we have the lemon lolly that is 5.5 by 4 1/4. And then we have the pumpkin pie that is 5 1/4 by 4. Add a little bit of Stampin' Seal Plus here. And then, let's see, let's use the reverse side. Boy, I have orange ink, maybe from coloring. I think I have it on my fingers. And that is typical for me. We're gonna put these two pieces together, trying to leave an even margin around all 4 sides. All right, there we go. So this is our card base. The next thing we're gonna do is grab that designer series paper. Let's get rid of this and that, make a little room. So we're gonna grab our designer series paper. Remember how we scored it at 2 1/4. We're just gonna fold on that score line so you're able to see both sides of the paper. And I wonder if I like it like this. Yeah, I'm gonna fold it the other way. I think I wanna see on the inside of the card, I think I wanna see those oranges. And then we're gonna adhere this right to our card base. So all 3 of these layers or elements will create the card base. And then we have the little short flap on the front. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm just gonna make sure that I want it that color. Yeah, I do. I do. We need something to break up the oranges. All right, so let's add some adhesive, our Stampin' Seal Plus, to the back side of the designer series paper. Oh yeah, I do have ink on my fingers. The good news about the alcohol inks is that they dry pretty quickly. All right, so we will add this right to our card base. Again, I'm just leaving an even margin around all four sides. I'm gonna give it a good press with my bone folder. Okay, and then the next thing we need to do is we're gonna add the smaller mat to the front of the card. Oh, thank you, Nympha. It is so beautiful. I would never have thought that the blues would go with the citrus. I just never thought it. I was surprised when I got the pack and saw the reverse side. I thought, oh boy, what's that gonna look like? But it's lovely. I love it. Okay, so I think that's good placement. Now, the important thing to remember is our flap is short, so when we add adhesive to the back here, we only want to do it on half of it because we don't want to stick this right down to the card. We need to be able to open it. And I'm going to go just a little bit less than halfway. So I'll show you what I've done. Are you able to see where I applied the adhesive? There we go. The light catches it good. And then I'm gonna place it right in the center of the card. So I'm using the entire parameter to determine the placement. We'll give that a nice press down. And so your card should open without adhering to the inside. Right? All right, good enough. We're almost done, guys. The next thing we're gonna do is I'm gonna grab some Stampin' Dimensionals and we're gonna adhere our die cut, to the front of the card, and we'll decide. Let's get our dimensionals first. And I'm gonna grab my Take Your Pick tool because this is my tool of choice for applying embellishments and the dimensionals. And because this is so large, I'm going to be a little liberal with the Stampin' Dimensionals because I don't want this to sink. Let's see. We're going to put a lot of them. Let's put one towards the center too. I don't want it to smash. There we go. And we can put these aside. If you know me, you know nothing in my world is ever completely flat. Dimensionals are a part of every creation. I like the dimension. I like the depth and the shadow that it produces. And in many cases, it makes it look realistic. Oh, we missed one. Let's see, did we get them all? Okay, I think so. All right, and then we'll decide how to place this. I think that's good. Oh my gosh, you guys, is this beautiful? Yes, Nympha, these colors are so, I think they're amazing. That blue is amazing there. All right, so the remaining piece of basic white that we have is going to go on the inside of the card because this is where you're going to stamp your sentiment or write your sentiment. And if you place it right in the center, then your front flap should be enough to cover it. That's why the two pieces are the same size. So if you're gonna stamp, this is a good time to do so, and let's go ahead and do it. I'm gonna use that you're the best kind of person. I love that. And you know what? I'm gonna use this as, a birthday card, even though There's no exact birthday sentiment on it. I'm going to use it as a birthday card. I think half of my family is born in June and July. There are only a couple of us outside of that. Everyone else was born in June and July or November. You're the best kind of person. Okay, let's stamp our sentiment right down. I'm a fan of the upside down stamping. I feel more confident. And then we'll press this right down, add this to the center. Squee, I love it. All right, let's add some Stampin' Seal Plus to the reverse side. Thank you, Ellen. Isn't it beautiful? And that paper, I can't get enough of it. So remember, if you love this, it will be back in stock. It has gone out of stock as a suite. So there could be elements that are still available. You may be able to get just the stamp and dies. They may be available. I didn't have time to look for the individual components this morning before we got on air. I thought I would, but I didn't. All right, so here's what we have. Isn't this beautiful? Let me bring it closer. I don't know, the camera doesn't do it any justice. And the good thing about it is it uses your designer series paper, and it's quick. It's just a matter of some folds, right? All right, the last thing we're gonna do is we're gonna bring in those opal rounds, and because we're gonna grab those Night of Navy embellishments, and then I don't think this card needs anything else. And I don't know, can you see the dimension on there? Let's see if I can show you. So there's a bit of a shadow. It's like popping off the page. I love it. I'm a fan of it. I am here for it. And then I think I'll do the regular triangle thing I do. So maybe we can do two. Do I want to do? Yeah, let's spread them out. Spread the wealth, shall we? We'll do two big ones and a little one. We'll put this here, and the other big one. Oops, gonna have to go here. Let's see if I can move this up a little higher. I don't want them on the same, at the same level. That's pretty boring. I want them to be staggered out a bit. And then we'll put a little bitty one right over the hello. I think that will be good. And here we are. Thank you, Polly. Thank you so much. I don't know. What do you guys think about that blue with the lemon lolly and the pumpkin pie? It works, doesn't it? And maybe I could even have used the Night of Navy. I didn't have the forethought, but I could have used the Night of Navy to stamp that sentiment and the inside sentiment. Oh, thank you. You like it, Ellen? I do. It was a nice surprise for me. I didn't think that, I didn't think I'd like it initially, but it's fantastic. All right, you guys, so that is what I'm sharing today. I wanted to give a reminder, let's see, about the bundle sale. Let's grab it. Here we go. So I want to give a reminder about the bundle sale. You can get an extra 10% off of any stamp and die bundle through the end of the month. So they will be 20% off. And then you can get 10% off of the die cutting machine, the Stampin' Cut and Emboss. We have a big machine, and then we have a little baby. Here's our little baby. So we have a little baby one as well. So you can get 10% off of both of those, and then any die and stamp bundle is also an additional 10% off. So 20% off for the end of June. And this will be back in stock, I think, by the end of June. I'm hoping. All right. Oh, it does, doesn't it? Nympha says it looks like I spent hours on it. It really does. And I think the most time that I spent was coloring. I do love to color, and I can color pretty quickly. Hey, you see how we got that gradient and how well the colors blended once they dried? Nice, right? All right, let's go ahead and flip the camera upwards. I am going to do my best not to make you dizzy like in the beginning. There we go. Hi, friends. So thank you guys so much for being here on our new day and time, Saturday morning, with your coffee and a little bit of creativity. Thank you, thank you. I will be here again next Saturday. We'll create something else fun, so I'll have new things to share with you. I hope that you are able to be crafty this weekend. I hope that you find the time. And if you make this card, make it. If you have pattern paper, if you have stamps, inks, and something to color with, make it. All right, you guys, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you immensely. I will be here to hang out with you in my craft room next week. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Oh, by the way, thanks for the hearts and the thumbs up. You guys are the best. Thank you. Oh, yes, you have to make Father's Day cards, Nympha? Yes, yes. I better do that today. Thank you for that reminder. All right, you guys, happy creating. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.